Are we good? All right. I call to order the regular meeting of council for Wednesday, June 24th, 2026. Can I have a quick question? Why does it say annual meeting of council instead of regular?
This is the annual meeting of council, Your Worship. We issued statutory notice and you've got the annual report on the agenda.
That's fine. So this is the annual meeting of council. Okay, correction on that. I'd like to start our meeting off in a good way by acknowledging that we are gathered on the Treaty 8 First Nations territory in the long-standing presence of the elders of Treaty 8, and through this acknowledgement we extend recognition and respect to the BC Treaty 8 First Nations and all those who call the Peace Country home. I'd like to move on to item number 3.1, that council approve the agenda for the annual meeting dated June 24th, 2026. Can I get a seconder? Seconded by Councillor Wall. Discussion regarding tonight's agenda. I'm going to call the question then. All those in favor? That's unanimous and carried. Moving on to item number 4.1. I'd like to move that council adopt the minutes dated June 10th, 2026. Can I get a seconder? Seconded by Councillor Wall. Discussion.
Your Worship.
Councillor...
Oh, sorry. I don't want to, again, I'm stealing thunder. No, there was a correction that was shared with staff just in advance. It was a typographical thing on, I think, item 2.1 from the preceding meeting, and staff are happy to incorporate that in. It's just clarifying land acknowledgement.
Okay, perfect. All right, any issue with changing that? No, I'm assuming that's what you were going to do. Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay. Nope, no worries. Stealing the thunder. That's fine. All right, then all those in favor of adopting the June 10th minutes with the typographical correction? All those in favor? That's unanimous and carried. Thank you. Item number 5, introduction of late items, none. Item number 6, public hearings, none. Delegations, none. Unfinished business and business arising from the minutes, none. Moving on to item 9.4, I'd like to move the council approve the 2025 annual report as presented. Can I get a seconder? Seconded by Councillor Wall. Thank you. Councillor Wall.
9.1.
I did say 9.1, didn't I?
Oh, maybe not 9.4.
We know what you meant, Your Worship.
Did I say 9.4? I'm just winging it. It's 9.1. Sorry, guys. Yes, Councillor Rapp.
So this was the annual report presented to us at last council meeting, is my understanding. I don't see any changes made, if I'm correct in that understanding.
Malcolmson?
Through Your Worship, no changes were made. Previously, staff presented the draft of the annual report to council in camera, seeking their feedback or any adjustments that the council wanted prior to publication of the annual report. Timelines on it are kind of weird, where we must make the annual report available to the public 2 weeks in advance of its consideration. But it's also kind of appropriate that council say, yes, this is how we want the annual report to be reflected. So, number 1, we provided public notice and gave notice to the public and offered opportunities for the public to make representations to you at this meeting. No comments were received by the deadline, and this is for final approval, I suppose, of the annual report.
Okay. Any other comments or questions? I'm going to call the question then. All those in favor? Unanimous and carried. Mr. Malkinson, is this going to be put on to our social media and our website?
It's on the website right now, Your Worship, and social media, you can get it on there.
Do you mind putting it on there? I just like, I like the availability to share it.
Oh.
So, yeah, that'd be fantastic. Thank you. Just because it's fantastically done, and I think it really wraps up what we're focusing on this year and previous years, and I think you did a great job on it, so I'm excited to share it.
Thank you, Your Worship.
All right, moving on to item 9.2. I move that council approve the 2025 statement of financial information as presented. Can I get a seconder? Seconded by Councillor Johnston. Discussion. Councillor Wall.
As part of the statement of financial information report there, I would suggest that in years going forward, staff implement a policy on dividing the expenditures when council may share travel or share accommodations.
Yes, I'm actually glad that you brought this up. Myself and Mr. Melkinson had a conversation about this, because I know that your expenses actually reflect some of Councillor Rabble's as well, just with you guys sharing traveling and rooms and stuff. So what we've actually decided to do is, rather than develop a policy, we're going to change the form, and we're going to include an area on the expense form that shows if you're dividing.
That would be awesome, because on mine on here, just for transparency's sake, it appears to be higher than others, because like the Airbnbs, for example, go on somebody's, so I bear the brunt of the Airbnb that we all stayed at.
Yeah.
Oh.
So yeah, we kind of connected on it. We threw back and forth the policy idea, and actually we're just going to add it directly on the form, so it's automatically there.
Yeah, because then we can just divide it 4 ways or 3 ways or however.
Yeah. Nope. Sounds perfect. Okay. Any other comments?
Does it need to be a motion?
Nope. Nope.
Okay.
Yes, Councilor Raffles.
So I want to thank the finance team and the auditors for the preparation of this report. My understanding from this report is that the village has no debt. We have investments and cash assets that are enough to fulfill our obligations now and into the future. My understanding from this is that we're in a healthy financial position. And you know, obviously there's all the nitty gritty of which line, well, this line and that line and all of that, but long and short is, this was prepared with, you know, the most accurate information is my understanding. We're meeting all of our legal requirements in this documentation, and are there any glaring issues or concerns with this, or are we on a good, healthy path?
Yeah, no, through our conversations, we've had Mr. Curiotti come out a couple of times and go over this with us prior to this evening, as well as some questions during budgeting that were sort of around these things as well. We are doing well. One of the biggest issues we are going to face as time persists is our infrastructure and asset replacement. And so that is definitely something that we are navigating. We've been navigating the additional costs of our asset management and replacement through, you know, taxation for the past couple of years. That's really been our big focus. As of course everybody at this table knows, we can't just keep focusing on that one area, and so that's why we've been really working with our new economical development officer, our team, as well as Mr. Curiotti's team, to create a financial strategy going forward to see if there's new innovative ways that we can look at managing this additional expense that the village is currently trying to cover just through residential taxation by trying to figure different things out. So the only things that are financially, we're in a great spot. We're doing really, really well. But like most aging communities, we are facing the cost of funding infrastructure replacement and management, as well as asset management and asset replacement. So while we are in a good place, yes, we've managed to maintain being in a good place through increasing taxation. And we are all aware that that's not a perfect solution. And so going forward, we are going to be looking at different innovative ways to find a way to keep us in this great financial position without increasing the burden on the taxpayer. I was a singer. I also made a really good coffee. You should drink some.
Very strong coffee. You said it wasn't going to be. It's very good.
No, I lied and said it would be super strong. Yes, Mr.
Further to Councillor Raffles' comments and questions, yes, no debt. Yes, you know, strong asset base, you know, in the village. And yeah, I would echo Mayor Beach's comments where yes, there's some strong high level. There's a strong high level position for the village, but there's a few vulnerabilities that are kind of present in the village's financial position that at least what I've seen from past years reporting, and you know, one of the approaches that we had in budget this year was to try to, you know, close that gap on infrastructure a little bit and make sure that, you know, the village is in a position where it can, you know, recover and eventually replace you know, some of the aging assets that it has. Another item is you know, that the village has a heavy dependence on grants and third parties to run its operation annually, and that poses a bit of a risk for, you know, residents as well. So there's keeping those, you know, kind of trends or risks in mind can kind of inform, you know, it's probably important for the public or for council to consider when financial priorities are being figured for future years.
Yes, Councillor Raffles.
And the clarification question, does this document meet our regulatory and statutory requirements?
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
No, for sure. Any other comment or question? I'm going to call the question, then all those in favor? And that is unanimous and carried. Wonderful. Okay, moving on to 9.3. Councillor Wong.
The council direct administration to advise the Peace River Regional District that the village of Pouce Coupe will not participate in the regional elected officials orientation, and further that council direct administration to prepare, deliver in-house orientation for the incoming council following the 2026 general local elections. I'm going to add one here. And that this decision be brought forward to council on the first meeting of November 2026, with the reasons stated being presented to the new council at that time.
Can I get a seconder? Seconded by Councilor Rebel. So you're just wanting them to have the ability to control the budget for the orientation? Am I understanding the addition of your motion?
Well, there's a possibility that we're all going to be gone, or it could be all of us, or it could be 5 new people.
Yeah.
And if it's all 5 new people that don't know what they're doing,
Yeah.
the orientation does have a cost to it, and it's quite a cost that's already been allocated. So I think it'd be appropriate that if there is a new council coming in,
Mm-hmm.
that they be informed that it was an orientation that we decided to not attend, and here's the same report as to why.
Oh, okay.
That's it. Just
Gotcha.
bring it back in November.
Yeah,
so
bring
that-
it back.
And just in a report, this is what our approach is.
Yeah.
This is what our approach is going to be,
Yeah.
and bring that back the first week of November.
I can do
I
that.
like it. That's perfect. Okay, Councilor Rebel?
So I understand that and I appreciate that option versus just saying no right now. I did find it very valuable in 2022 when we attended this. I think it was a really great thing. But basically we're saying, okay, let's not make this decision now, let's chuck it to later. If we put it into November, this decision, or when it comes back to this body, is there still enough time to participate, I guess is the real question.
So my understanding is that we're not going to be participating either way. So even in November, when they bring it forward, the option won't be for them to suddenly sign on to it. The problem is that because less communities are taking part and it's a cost share, there's a higher cost to each municipality, and ours just can't bear the brunt of that expense as much as others can. And so with that, we're going to look at doing it in-house. And so my understanding is that even if this report comes back in November, it'll give them the understanding of why we didn't go forward with it and instead chose to do it
Instead of them coming in as a new council potentially and learning that there's an orientation taking place that Poos isn't involved in, we can say actually the costs would have been, it would have been tens of thousands of dollars, and it would have taken extra days and all of these sorts of things when we have a very qualified Mr. Malkinson. You're probably run the course himself right here.
kind of sort of, he's like, whoa man, calm down.
I think you're qualified.
No, I'm just so glad I helped my town. That's
Good on you.
a rare moment of restraint, your worship.
That answer your question?
I appreciate it. I think there is benefit. Unfortunately, it does seem like the costs have gone up.
Yeah.
It was really fantastic.
No, it was.
Yeah.
It was fantastic. It was a great opportunity for us to meet other local elected officials. There's 2 reasons why I'm not in favor of us going forward with it for this year's. One, because the cost so far has already gone up by about $2,000 just to the municipality alone because of the 2 communities that have pulled out, Tumbler Ridge and Chetwynd, I think it is.
Correct.
And I won't be surprised if Hudson Hope also pulls out. Just because the cost is really hard for these much smaller municipalities. And so one of the things that we loved about it was the opportunity to meet other local representatives. But I think by the looks of things, I don't know if it's going to be as full as it was when we all went. And so it might actually be beneficial for, if it does end up being 5 brand new people, for Mr. Malkinson to kind of spend that first year doing some of those community-to-community meetings instead. Which I wouldn't be surprised if that's something that Tumbler, Chetwynd, and Hudson Hope are already also thinking about as well, is rather than doing one big, almost conference is kind of what it ends up feeling like, we'll start doing these more smaller community-to-community meetings. Yes?
So is how this is currently pitched is every municipality discreetly pays for an equal portion of the cost versus calculating the expense based off of, say, population.
Yeah, no,
So it's more proportional.
everybody pays.
The governance benefit accrues to all equally, so I think the logic that they have is that expenses are shared equally, which doesn't necessarily result in Fort St. John, for instance.
Yeah.
Well, if I may,
Yes.
I understand if it's too expensive, it's too expensive and we could do it in-house. Like, I'm not opposed to that. I'm saying it sounds like if a lot of folks peel off, it might not happen at all, which might be a detriment overall. So could it be pitched that it be a proportional cost sharing model versus a discrete cost sharing model?
I don't know, because it's not something that we really run. It's taken care of by the PRRD. It did come to the PRRD table, and I know the staff, when they presented it to the board, was already saying, like, with how much costs have gone up, they weren't sure how much buy-in there was gonna be already. What I can do is tomorrow, when I'm at the PRRD table, I can bring this conversation up kind of during lunch and see if they could put it back on the agenda, because communities are beginning to pull out, and see if we can look at doing it where it's more population-based. But I wouldn't be surprised if municipalities like Fort St. John and Dawson Creek aren't interested in that. So then, instead of the smaller municipalities dropping out, it'll then be the bigger ones, right? It's very hard to create a model that feels equal to everybody, but I have no issue bringing that forward and just kind of connecting with the PRRD staff and kind of seeing if they've thought about a different way of doing it.
Well, there are lots of qualified former and current elected officials in the area right now. There's a bunch that come to mind: former MLAs, former MPs, former city managers, these sorts of things that can really explain those processes. Like, we have some legendary local elected officials that come from the Peace Country.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it wouldn't be that difficult to have someone come in for a couple of hours into Coos and explain, hey, this is how voting works, this is how the agendas work, this is what a point of order is, all of these sorts of things. And how does a communication policy actually work?
Yeah.
You know, this is obviously my first term, but when I came in initially, it was very overwhelming. The bylaws are all legalese, all the rules, Robert's rules. You got Robert's Rules of Order. You've got the Community Charter, which is 1,500 pages. You've got the Local Government Act, that's another 1,000 pages, and it's binders and binders and binders. And here are the rules you have to follow. And it's quite a bit, especially if someone's new coming in. Now it's been 4 years.
You're an old hat at it.
I don't want to say I'm an expert, but I know definitely more than I did then. And it is kind of overwhelming, but the cost of it, I think we can do it much cheaper in-house. We have all the documentation, and we have some very good team players that live around the area that I think we should use the talent we have.
Yes.
I don't mean to throw a wrench in this. The motion on the floor, my understanding, is to kill it, say no, do it in-house, versus potentially, say, tabling it for the discussions around the board table to see if a different funding model can be proposed.
Well, even if, let's say, the PRD conversation leads to a different funding model being created, they'll re-approach us with that, and so that would automatically make it back on.
Okay, so we wouldn't kill it completely.
No.
We'd kill it in its current form.
We're killing it in its current form. If they come up with a different model, then that's something completely new that could definitely end up coming back.
I don't want to close the door completely.
Nope.
Yeah.
Totally. Yes.
I just want to say, like, for the price that's being proposed, it's a very similar cost to what UBCM cost us 2 years ago when we came back with $2 million in grant funding for the lagoon. Or last year when we went down and we got the crosswalks down and more funding, and for the amount of money this is costing, we could put that money elsewhere and get more back for the community.
Okay. I'm going to call the question, then all those in favor? And that is unanimous and carried. Wonderful. Moving on to item 9.4.
The council approved a business facade improvement program grant in the amount of $5,000 for the facade improvement project located at Cano Coupe convenience store, subject to completion of the proposed improvements and compliance with program guidelines.
Seconded by Councillor Wall. Thank you. Discussion. Councillor Rebel.
So I appreciate the idea of this. I think it's very interesting. I've seen other municipalities that do this. This comes through that grant from NDIT, right? Like this is through NDIT, right?
Through your worship, yes.
Oh,
That's correct.
I thought that this wasn't. Oh, this is the NDIT one. Sorry.
This is the one we approved 2 meetings ago. And
Yeah.
you already have an applicant.
Yeah. Wonderful, very exciting.
So basically, NDIT gave the village money. We've got an applicant that wants to do a facade improvement. That money from NDIT originates from, the trusts that they have. So it's not local taxpayer money that's going to this. This would be through a grant that we have. They get a grant, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's how it's funded. If it meets whatever requirements have been set out and it does that and we've got the capacity to manage it, then I don't see why not.
Yeah, I'm very excited. I'm glad that somebody jumped on it, and I really hope that when Canco gets a ton of compliments, when they're all done, they will spread the awareness to other business owners, and we can start seeing more being done around the community. It'd be very exciting. Question, actually, sort of on topic, sort of off topic. This is fantastic. I'm super excited about Canco. Dude in the yellow building that used to be Papa Dom's.
Yeah.
You may reach out again. That's supposed to be a business eventually, is it not?
Yeah, it is. We've got a little bit of back and forth with him over the last couple of months. I am not sure. I haven't heard from him in a little while, but it'd be a great outreach. We've promoted the program on a few of the business walks that we've been on. I think there's been a number of businesses that we have reached out to directly, but I'm not sure if he's exactly on the list yet, so I can follow up and make sure he's got it.
Cool. Thank you.
You want your recommendation? Or are we still
Yeah, no, Councilor.
Sorry, I do apologize. But was it 3 businesses applying, but 1 grant's going to be given? I'm a bit.
Yeah,
I know that they've got different buildings, different entities potentially.
So even though that they technically are all in the same area, you can't take that 5,000 and split it amongst 3 separate businesses. It needs to be one business in itself.
Okay.
I'll let Mr. Malkinson explain it because he's far more intimate with it than I am.
I think more politely, Your Worship, I've just seen the applications myself. The 3 applications that we received were basically from the same company for the same property. So, but for the 3 different businesses that were at the one particular property, and I think they're just DBAs. But based on the eligibility criteria that were set up for the grant, we felt like it was one business can get 1 grant instead of one business getting 3 grants, totally, $15,000. That would be a disproportionate utilization, for.
So this is a more conservative approach with the grant.
Yeah, and it's basically we're not forking over the full 15 and 20,000 to just one business. That would be probably not very smart. No.
Out of curiosity, the applications are closed. What happens with the other? If I'm understanding, it's $20,000. What happens with the other 15?
So we did confirm with NDIT, Your Worship, that in these kinds of circumstances, NDIT asks us to hold the money over to next year. Just keep applications open. We'll roll them forward. We were just speaking actually at the Chamber of Commerce mixer here about the program to see if anybody might be interested in doing some, facade improvements to their business. So.
It's not lost.
No, it is not lost. It's very forward.
Can I call the question, then all those in favor? And that is unanimously carried. Thank you. Moving on to item 9.5. Recommend that council approve policy number 3.1, purchasing and procurement as amended. Can I seconder? Seconded by Councilor Johnston. Discussion? Councilor Wall.
On page 106, 3.25, I see that there's a redaction there. I'm not quite sure what that sentence we're redacting actually means. If it could be explained to me in simple language, that'd be great.
Which policy, sorry?
credit card?
On page 106 of the agenda, page 3 of that, 125.
Gotcha. Yeah, I think the notion there is that this is being recommended by finance because there's a little bit of redundancy in our credit card practices where technically if somebody purchased, let's say, for a budget open house, they would technically have to go and fill out a handwritten purchase order and get it signed by their superior in order to do it. That's what this rule technically says. So we're recommending to council that the credit card receipt itself and the authorization process once the expense is actually done is sufficient to report that expense. Basically, it's a redundant requirement that was flagged to us in audit, and we just said perhaps this isn't necessary anymore.
This doesn't open the risk of it's an extra step, but it doesn't open the risk of any wrongdoing or anything like that.
No, not in our view. No.
No, I just saw it as a redaction, and okay.
Oh, I
Okay,
see.
are we,
I asked Mr. Jimmy to do this one a little bit differently this time, because I think the last few times we've just presented a new policy to you.
Yes.
We wanted to give you guys a markup copy so you could see exactly what we were proposing to change.
I like it.
Yes.
Now I know what the difference is. And I can go, okay,
Go right
do
to
we
the
have another way that we could, like, this isn't
Yes.
opening us up to any issues?
Yes, yeah.
There we
No,
go.
this is actually a recommendation that came from the audit.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah. Okay, any other?
Sorry for my long-winded.
No. Okay, I'm gonna call the question. All those in favor? That's unanimous and carried. Moving on, recommend the council approve policy 4.1 snow and ice control as amended. I get a seconder? Seconded by Councillor Wall. Thank you. Discussion? I'm gonna call the question then. All the,
If staff wanted to comment on it, I
Oh,
apologize.
sorry.
Chair, I don't wanna belabor it too much, your worship, sorry, I don't wanna get in the way of, you folks wanting to get to reports and stuff, but, yeah, there's a couple of adjustments in here that I think are a little bit notable. Very interestingly, since 2020, the last date of the last amendment, there's an interesting Supreme Court case about what qualifies local governments to able to be defended in the event that there actually is an incident that involves or surrounds snow removal practices within communities. So this has a little bit more clarified language to kind of support the village's snow control practices and makes clear that council in its capacity as the elected officials are saying that this policy is in effect due to the financial and budgetary, challenges or balancing act that the village needs to do. So it's trying to make it a little bit more legally effective.
okay, Councillor Ralph.
Sorry, thank you, Mayor. Okay, so this is assigning a service level. Is this increasing the service level, keeping it the same, or decreasing it? I guess it's the real question, right?
Mr. Malcolmson?
It's basically keeping it the same. We aren't proposing to increase services or decrease services at this time. There's enhanced descriptions for prioritization of drainage in here, but we're not proposing to increase or decrease services at this point. We're just seeking to clarify it, make it a little bit more defensible.
Okay, any other questions? I'm gonna call the question then. All those in favor? And that is unanimous and carried. Wonderful. Moving on to correspondence. Is there anything in particular you guys would like to lift? Yes, Councillor Wall.
I would like to lift 10.1 and 10.6.
Okay, anybody else? I'm just making sure that I have anything. Okay, and I'd like to recommend that council receive 10.2, 10.3, 10.4, 10.5, and 10.7 for information. Can I get a seconder? Seconded by Councillor Wall. Discussion? All those in favor? Unanimous and carried. 10.1 is yours, Councillor Wall. Please take it away.
So 10.1 is drought and water scarcity plan. So I know the regional district, Metro Vancouver has recently done this. The Fraser Valley just did this, and now Comox is doing this, and they're having trouble with their zoning and everything. But the idea is that water restrictions should not affect essential agricultural practices, such as irrigation and crop management, as well as water for animals. And this just seems like it's a bit of a letting us know that there are agricultural contacts in each region for this. I am curious, however, when we do go into water restrictions, if it actually affects our agricultural land in the village.
I'm actually not 100% sure. Are you, Mr. Malcolmson?
Sorry, no, I
No.
don't know too much. I think it might qualify under, business use. There's also a little bit of muddiness between Goose Coopy's bylaw and Dawson Creek's bylaw by contract. I know council is familiar that it tries to mirror Dawson Creek's water conservation measures. Pretty sure that, I don't know that agriculture in Dawson's bylaw is parsed out as a distinct use from commercial uses, so it might be captured at stage 4, with a lot of the other more comprehensive business uses, or it might not even be captured at all if it is. I would suspect that it would rank fairly highly on the list in terms of protected uses.
Well, it's not in all of those regional districts and places I mentioned, which is why the province is sending this out. So I'm curious. I know at some point here we're going to be going into conversation with Dawson Creek, and I'm curious if this is something that we could bring up just to make sure that.
This might be beneficial for you to direct staff to bring that information back.
Yeah, I'm curious if we looked into that before we have those conversations to make sure we don't adversely impact our farmers.
Okay, can I get a seconder on that? Seconded by Councillor Rattle, thank you. Councillor Rattle?
Well, we do have some farm properties within the village. I would suspect that they would be tied into the village's water system. When Dawson Creek goes on water restrictions, we're obligated to follow those water restrictions. So therefore, it makes sense that agricultural lands within the village could be impacted by this and could impact food production. And of course, everyone wants to make sure that it's still a food production. So I think it would be valuable to investigate, to essentially figure out, we've got farm properties, what's the water use look like, are they impacted when there's water restrictions, go from there. And it could be a part of that conversation moving forward as we are in a forced marriage with a neighboring municipality for our water system.
Yeah, I would be interested to see what staff brings back on that actually. And then maybe see if that leads to a broader conversation with some of our PRD neighbors as well, actually.
Because this is something that I know the province is looking at very closely right now. And they're encouraging municipalities to make sure that, agricultural producers aren't, like let's say you're growing vegetables and you don't water your lawn on whatever days. Well, your vegetables should count as your grass. It's two different things. So
I do have Dawson's bylaw in front of me here. Stage 4, water restrictions, which is the most serious. The watering of vegetable gardens, unless the watering is carried out by hand, is prohibited. And water or engaging in drip irrigation of lawns or landscaping, flower gardens, decorative planters, shrubs or trees, artificial turf, or outdoor tracks is also prohibited. So there's some, things in here that are, and also there's the prohibition, which everybody's familiar on. There's prohibition on hauling bulk water for non-potable use in commercial or industrial processes. So those items themselves are probably the most agricultural based ones.
So Mr. Malkinson, what I would be interested in the recommendation that Councillor Wallace brought forward is what is currently in the bylaw and what these other communities have changed specifically.
Okay, sure.
I would like that to be brought back. Yeah.
Sure.
So that's the recommendation that's put on the floor. Just sort of a compare and contrast, because maybe this is something that we need to look into deeper, and maybe this is something that even Dawson Creek is bouncing around as well, and if we could be more informed on it, that would be.
That sounds great.
Yeah.
the communities I listed are currently getting a nice slap on the wrist from the province. So maybe don't look at the ones I mentioned, because they're the ones that the province is calling out in the report. But see elsewhere the communities that maybe aren't getting penalized at the moment.
Okay. All right. I'm going to call the question then. All those in favor of staff looking into this and bringing it back? Thank you. All right. Moving on to 10.6.
Pregnancy and Infant Loss Awareness Day. I think it's a fairly compelling report. Unfortunately, sometimes pregnancies are not seen to completion, and to bring awareness to that and to fundraise, to support grieving mothers and things like that, I think it would be nice if we did designate October 15th as Pregnancy and Infant Loss Awareness Day.
So, can we have this brought back closer to that October 15th date, Mr. Malkinson?
You sure can, Your Worship.
Yeah. Why don't we plan for that? So make the recommendation to bring it back closer. For the beginning of October or the end of September meeting?
I will. Wait. I motion to. What's the one? Which one is it? I motion to table this until the week September.
Okay, can I get a seconder?
Second.
Seconded by Councillor
My brain was
Howell.
blank and I was trying to look at my cheat sheet. I still couldn't find it.
No, that's fine. Discussion, any discussion regarding bringing it back in September? All those in favor? Unanimously carried, thank you. Okay, moving on to resolutions, none, bylaws, none, administration reports, none on this one. So council reports. Councillor Johnston, what you been up to?
I did attend the last library meeting.
Good.
Yes, apparently they will be putting the cameras on the outside of the school here soon.
Oh, okay, good. Is
They
that due to increased vandalism, or?
I believe it's vandalism. I can't remember, we did get a printout of them actually doing this, and I can't remember the reason why. The cameras are gonna be on the outside of the school now.
Okay.
And they are looking at a 3D printer which is kind of exciting.
That is very exciting.
Other than that, everything's going pretty well over there.
I know they
Still
just,
feeling around, getting to know how it's all working over there.
they just sent me something the other day about things that they have coming to the library that they wanted us to help
Yes.
them advertise for.
Yes, because they have, like, the animals coming in.
Mhm.
They have some pamphlets, I'm surprised they haven't dropped them off over here.
Yeah, because that would be,
September, I believe they have, animals, or maybe it's the summer here. They have like a critter thing going on.
so they have a Science World, here it is, I was
That's
looking
it,
for it.
science.
So they have two events happening. Science World will be here on July 22nd at 1:30. And then the Summer Reading Club kicks off on July 2nd with an ocean theme. So those are the two things that are coming to the library. I was like, I have something.
Sorry, my notes are on my table.
No worries. They did send this to me, and I keep meaning to forward it off to you, Mr. Milkinson, so that we can share it. I'm gonna do that right now.
And they will not be putting a float in the print this year, I think that's the first time.
What, they're not?
No, they don't have the capacity.
Oh my goodness.
So, yeah, I don't think that's happened in the last 20 years, maybe.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
What do they need? We have a little trailer, like we have a little trailer.
They have a trailer and stuff. It's
Yeah, they just don't have somebody to help them decorate the
There's a
float
lot
and then
going on,
ride
she's
in.
learning the library right now, I mean, the focus is.
The focus is kind of getting it back up and going. Really.
Yeah.
It was closed for about 3 months.
Maureen had this stuff like was second nature for her.
Yeah.
She'd fly through it all.
Yeah.
You know, it's just, this year they won't be having one.
No. Are they going to be around on Canada Day to
I believe so.
assist with the? They normally do bouncy castles, I think, for us. So yeah. Okay. Perfect. All right. Well, cool. I'm glad that you ended up making it. Thank you so much. I keep not being able to make it, and I know that they're getting
I might
really.
sit in and forget.
Yeah, they've been getting really frustrated because they're just like nobody's coming. But I've been so
They were-
busy. I know they are getting very frustrated. I'm so sorry. But thank you so much.
You are, and I will go again. There is another one in September if you can make.
Okay, perfect. All right, Councilor Rabble, what you been up to?
The tree planting happened, right?
Yes.
Now?
It
Okay.
did.
So there was some trees planted on 50th, and so that was really lovely to see. And
Very nice.
hey, and they'll start growing. They're growing right now while we're in here. So hey, that's
Yeah.
good stuff. You know, don't have to worry about it. Besides that, not too much. However, Mayor, as you weren't, you were away last time.
Mm-hmm.
This is from FCN in Edmonton, from CN, and so, for your work advocating for the community, I've got to pass it to you in a certain manner.
Oh,
This
good.
is a challenge coin it was presented to me, and so I'm passing it to you.
Oh,
You got a handshake.
I'm gonna handshake it. Oh,
There you go.
fancy.
So their community, their best advocate this year.
Goes to me.
Went to Pooh, so
Went
we got
to
2 points
Pooh's
too.
Snoopy,
but
yeah.
As a verbal kind of thing, right?
Oh, that is so funny.
So,
Oh, well.
as we've all seen, the signals have been removed along Highway 2
That's
before and after Boost, and we're still waiting on Carlin Road, of course, but,
Yeah.
there's that.
Cool.
Neat, eh?
I didn't know that even was a thing.
Challenge coin.
Yeah,
Yeah.
challenge coins. So now, do we secretly alley handshake somebody who
Well-
wants the challenge or something?
If somebody throws it down, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's why I showed it, because I don't want to just pass you a mysterious red bag
Oh
here.
my gosh, yeah. So you have such size. Okay, cool. Well, that's so cool. That's one of those round of applause for all of us gentlemen. Done an awesome job. Yes, cool. Well, thank you. Awesome. Okay. Anything else you want to add? Yeah. Good.
I did have a couple of bullet points under CAO, just before we got to yourself. If that's
Oh,
okay.
yes, please do.
I have mine too.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I read it wrong, I'm sorry. No. I don't want to interrupt. Go ahead.
All right. Councillor Welch, take it away. Go on.
Alright, well, I went and helped plant trees on a very hot day. But, the neighborhood came out, I saw people driving by, they were looking, and you see the same car go by 3 times, trying to see what we're doing. And great conversations, a couple of people that were, I believe, quite unimpressed when we cut down the trees, seemed to be very thankful that they were coming back. So I'm really happy with that. I did a tour of the Hart Hotel with some of the staff, and I think it would be, there's not much of historic value remaining in that building,
I know.
unfortunately. It's
been plundered.
It's been, yeah.
Yeah.
But there still are a lot of good items that could be possibly sold at a garage sale to support either the museum or the library or something
Can
like
we
that.
sell them though if they've been through fire? I thought that there was a hazardous material.
Look into it.
Yeah. We may have to look into that. I guarantee nothing. Once fire touches something, it becomes a hazard, right?
There's so many banquet chairs in there. There's tables.
I know.
There's, there's random stuff, but like nothing that would be of historic value for the museum
Yeah.
that I could see. But things that, those banquet chairs, you could probably sell them $10 a piece. And there's probably 150 of them. Like that might do well for an organization or the food bank or whatever. So I'll make the recommendation that staff look into a Hart Hotel items garage sale and the feasibility of that.
Can I get a seconder on this?
Well, second for discussion.
Yes.
Well, second moves it to the floor. Anyways, I appreciate it. I think one of the pitches was, sell the items to fundraise for the museum. The other thing too is, as last meeting council approved the hazard assessment of the building, we could determine if these are hazardous, what the hazard rating is, right? I guess it's interesting to explore it. Obviously, yeah. The trouble is, a lot of things were kind of raided from the place, and now what's left is just stuff like furniture and chattels and all that stuff. But anyways, what if we did it where, okay, we have to figure out which organizations would get the proceeds is one piece, but the other piece would be, is it sell,
Yeah.
That's what I want staff to look into if we could.
That's kind of what I'm thinking.
Because if we can sell it, there's quite a bit of value in there. It's nothing historically significant, but it is money. It is something that, people could buy.
A banquet chair from 2001,
No, you advertise it as purchase a piece of the heart, and then it's like a plastic chair.
Or
Really.
Yeah, or tables, and there's, upstairs there's like a buffet thing, and
Yeah.
there, I wouldn't sell anything
Looks
close
very
to
hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, a stamp, get a stamp or something.
It might not be something we can move forward like immediately.
No.
But no, in the future, like we did talk with Les at the Hart Hotel when we walked through recently that maybe that could be a good opportunity. Another gap might be labor for him, and he also didn't have 100% buy-in. He said he'd need to hear from his board on whether or not that was something that was doable. But he did mention his interest in principle in the idea, so could be a good option. Fire hazard is something to be mindful of for sure. And I think seeing what would actually be valuable versus what might just make more sense to keep with the building, is worth considering as well. But yeah, it's worth looking at, I think.
I have one more recommendation about that.
Okay, well, hang on, I gotta vote on this one. All those in favor of doing that? There you go, unanimous and carried. Off you go, Councilor Wong.
Regarding the Hart Hotel, I do believe there is historic value in the signage of the building. On the front there's that 1920, it's a wooden sign, it's a Hart Hotel 1928, it says on it, and then on the back of the building, it says Poos Inn, and it's a big yellow thing. I think they're not permanently affixed to the structure, they're just sitting on the face of it.
Yeah.
I think it'd be valuable historically, if those two signs could be salvaged from the building in the event that the building itself may not be salvageable.
Right.
Do you need a recommendation to preserve those, or?
Probably. I think it might be costly for us to do that, so maybe you guys would want to see costs before we did. I think the deck there, that is underneath one of the signs that you're referencing isn't necessarily very stable.
On the side of the building. So the ones on the side where the dumpster used to be and those sheds.
Okay.
And the other one is the one on the front.
Right. So yeah, I'm not sure the method by which we'd detach it from, or it might be run concurrent with potential future activities at the building, but we can get costs for you guys for sure. It might need to be a third party to do it.
I recommend that staff look into the cost of the preservation of the exterior signage on the Hotel.
Can I get a second on that? Seconded by Councillor Ravel, thank you. Discussion? I know the ones that you're talking about, yeah. I think the one is just, it's part of tourism, right, where it has the picture of the old
Yeah.
park, yeah. And then I think that was originally a sign that was done by tourism during, tourism stuff in the mid-2015s, I think. And then the yellow one on the side, I think that is also a very old tourism as well.
Right.
If I remember.
That one probably looks like 50s.
Yeah, so I think both of those signs are tourism signage that was put up. So,
Is our game plan to sell them, or is it for the?
no, it's to
village?
preserve them.
So the village would keep them?
Yeah,
Is the idea? Okay.
yeah. So, okay.
Unfortunately, there's nothing really else that I saw in there that's worth any historic value. I mean, all those.
The bar's still in there? Can we try that puppy yet?
I don't think there's.
Is the bar still in there? Partially.
Oh,
It's there may have. I think there were squatters in there.
did they poop on the bar too?
They didn't poop on it, but I think they were doing drugs on it,
Oh, yeah,
and
okay.
then had a little bit too much fun. Maybe I don't know.
Young is like, where are these meetings resorted to? I just had to, I don't know.
Anyways, just to look into preserving the exterior signage, see what ones we can keep and how much it would cost.
Right.
All right, you had a question, Councillor Rose?
It's something, we can figure out if we can salvage them, figure out what the future is, what's gonna happen with it, but at the very least, heaven forbid, it's completely gone one day. At least we have the signs.
Yeah.
Obviously, I wouldn't wanna see that, I do wanna see the exterior preserved and implemented into something new, but hey, this is the start. A report
Obviously,
is
the
a start.
condition of that building, I don't know.
Yeah, tough.
All right, we're gonna call the question, then all those in favor? And that's unanimous and carried. Councillor Whittle is away with
I
notice.
still have things.
Oh, God, really?
Yeah.
Okay, please continue.
So we're working with CN still. They removed the 2 crossings on the highway. Carling Road, I was told that they will be having that done by the end of July.
Okay.
So hopefully in the next couple of weeks they'll have that. But they're not just going to fix it, they're going to rip out the track. Something else they've communicated with me is that they are even considering just ripping up all the track between Carling Road and Highway 2. Because if they were ever to reopen that line, that track is too far gone.
Okay.
So if there ever was to be a hypothetical park or trail or whatever that went through there, we might have a beautiful gravel bed to put it on. Or it might just be a thing.
Okay.
So anyways, just something to keep in mind. And I was just thinking about it. On Canada Day, we've spent a lot of money on the lagoon these past few years, and it's finally done. And I had someone talking to me, and they went, well, I haven't seen a change. My toilet flush is all the same. Right? It's like, what was this $3 or $4 million spent on? Well, we have a state-of-the-art sewage treatment system down there now, and it's beautiful down by the river. I think it would be nice if we considered, having someone from Public Works or somebody, if people wanted to go down there, open the gate and bring people down to actually see what the river work that's been done under. And, a short half-hour walk down the hill and actually look at that bank stabilization and that cell cleanup. And
It would be the weirdest Canadian Canada Day tour we've ever done. Come,
Go get the
look at
horse-
where your
horse and
lagoon
wagon.
is.
look at where your $5 million went. Though, it's a major project, and
No, it is.
Do
I
wagon
just-
ride, horse rides down there.
it's actually pretty beautiful down there.
Very nice.
It is beautiful down there. I just know, I'm thinking about when we all went down there and we had to have like boots and high vis and so I don't know how we would.
That's because of all the heavy equipment that was still working.
I think the logistics that I'm trying to work through would be, we've got most of the staff spoken for the day of,
Yeah, I know they're all so busy.
and to line up tours like rotating through the afternoon might be a challenge, but to do it in a concentrated fashion would require us either to advertise in advance or to get signage prepared for the day of and have a table. So it might be a little challenging to get on.
Well, I'm just thinking, people walk up to the booth and say something, you just go, well, whatever time we're walking down there.
What if we looked at it,
I like the idea.
how we've been to other events, like, if you go to something with Dawson Creek at the Ovintic Center, they have like a screen that does a flip through of like construction and projects
Okay.
that they've
Thanks.
had.
Pictures on TV screens.
See, the pictures
Why
don't
don't-
justify the
It's
scale.
something.
It's
No,
a
but
half a mile of river.
it's something we can do for now until we flesh something. It's a bit short notice, right? Like Canada Day's in like a week and a half, but it's something we could do for this year and flesh out something better.
Right.
But we do have those amazing drone shots.
We do.
Like,
Yeah.
I almost wish there was a way we could do a flip through.
Or maybe on Canada Day we announce a public tour that someone can, call in and sign up on a specific day. And, a group of the public, they start top of the hill, walk your way down, and actually look at it.
Yeah, this year, it's a bit short notice for this year, so I'm just trying
It
to.
is a bit of a challenge for Canada Day, but I do like the idea if residents are interested, people being able to go and see what happened there,
Mhm.
because it is like that whole valley looks a lot different now.
Yeah, it looks so different now, yeah.
Okay, maybe in August or something, like whenever.
Yeah,
Something
Yes, Councillor Rebel.
Well, kind of both ideas coming out. What would be the feasibility, because we have a village tent at Canada Day, what's the
Yeah.
feasibility of putting a TV up with the pictures? I know the pictures don't do justice. I'm kind of interested with the tour thing too. But, Canada Day's in a week. Is there a way to provide tower and a TV down there and make a slideshow that could throw some pictures up? Like to make it tangible
Yeah, we
for the
could-
moment.
We could try that. I'm not sure how many of our tents are gonna be powered during, but if it is, I can get that.
I'm just thinking, like-
Shouldn't be too tough to grab a TV and to build a slideshow, that exhibits or highlights that work, right? Like that is pretty cool.
Yeah, that's what I'm kind of thinking, right? Like, it might be, and like, even if it's not just that, even if it's like some, other projects that we've had, or, like village highlight reel kind of a deal, right? Because that's what, like, Dawson Creek often does that whenever they have community things. It's sort of that highlight reel of what's been going on. And we do have those really nice drone shots.
Right?
Yeah.
That's true.
Yes, Councillor.
And the other thing is maybe we put a sign-up sheet, a sign-up for interest in doing lagoon tours for the public. You could throw it on the table. It's no big hassle. You print out a sheet and say, hey, sign up with some contact information if you'd like a tour of the lagoons. We could pitch it that way, generate what the interest
Well, if
is.
nobody signs up, then
Just have it with the TV.
Yeah.
Easy peasy, right? You want to see this,
You want some time to think on how that looks?
Do a sign-up sheet at the event itself. And we
Yeah.
can schedule later on if anybody's interested. And the TV thing, like I say, I don't know if we'll have power proximate
Yeah.
to our tents particularly, but if there are, it'd be great to have I like the idea. Like, we can give it our best shot. And then I know that we can have a sign-up sheet at the tent though.
Yeah.
If somebody wants to schedule a tour or something like that, I'm sure we could get Chad to, take people down.
it was just that comment from the resident. It was just, nothing's changed on my end.
Totally.
Where did all this money go?
Man,
Right,
we should
it's like,
have
whoa,
spent an extra $5 million and made it every time you flush your toilet, just gold sparkles. Confetti.
Everyone gets one of those Japanese toilets.
Yeah, right?
Or whatever, yeah.
Okay.
Good governance means things just work. That's the good stuff.
Yeah.
When it works, it's boring and it's expected. That's
Yeah.
a good thing.
Anyway, it's just somebody said, made
Do
me
you,
think about why don't
we
we
need a recommendation for that, or are you cool just kind of being
For the
left
sign-up list or
for both?
for the one, I'm not sure that we can do it.
Yeah.
But I can give it a shot. So probably wouldn't, if you guys did a recommendation, then I would probably absolutely make sure that we had a generator and a slideshow and stuff like that, but.
Maybe we just print out
Generator
some
tomorrow.
pictures. Print out some pictures, leave them there, and make a sign-up sheet.
Yeah.
Do what you feel is at capacity.
Perfect, yeah.
How about this? How about we broaden it and say, is there pictures that represent the accomplishments of this year and recent years in their capital improvements and a sign-up sheet for the lagoon tours?
Sure.
And then that broadens it if it's printed, if it's digital.
Can
That
I
gives
get
you
a
guys
seconder, what you just said, seconded by Councillor Wall?
for Canada Day.
Okay, any discussion regarding doing that? All those in favor? That's unanimous and carried. Perfect. All right, the floor is now yours, Mr. Malcolmson.
Oh, thanks. So we did have some conversations the last couple of weeks with representatives from Northwinds about making sure that we have a good operating plan in place for the facility once it's all fired up and going. And in particular, it's just who do we liaise with, particular questions, when can we get the firefighters to, do some training on the actual building in case there was ever, heaven forbid, in case there's anything that ever happened there. Where does the snow get piled, that kind of stuff. So it's been a few conversations that we've started out and we're continuing on with over the next couple of weeks. And we received an application recently, a road closure application for the Village of Poos to be incorporated in with the summer show and shine via the museum. I think a number of cars will come here in the park downtown for one of the days there. I think the 11th.
What day is it? July 11th?
July 11th, yeah.
Okay.
Nice. And the notice for zoning went out today. You guys received yet a brochure a little while ago. We were building a website kind of page that had links to the draft zoning bylaw and some of the draft maps and descriptions of some of the changes that are included in the bylaw. So I think that went out today, right?
Sure.
Justin did that. Thank you, Justin. LGMA, so I went to a conference a little while ago, I think 2 weeks ago, which was Local Government Management
Well,
Association.
this is how you're meeting me in the middle, isn't it?
How's that?
You're going to talk about it rather than give me the photos so I can share them.
Oh, you wanted me to send you the photos, yeah. I will do my darndest.
Well,
Write that
please
down.
continue talking.
What are the pictures of?
Such a stinker. Well, you see, our own Mr. Malkinson got to be on a panel talking about.
It was the Village of Poos has been a guinea pig on an AI product the last few months, Uniworth, and it's basically just a talk to my minutes tool, that allows you to kind of talk to a year's worth of minutes, and it can kind of do complex retrieval operations where it can pull multiple strings and it can show timelines of interactions on certain things. So it's kind of a neat tool, but yeah, we did a speech with the company that's developing the tool to talk about how we've used it in Poos.
And how did we end up becoming a guinea pig?
Just a relationship with one of the people that's working there now as a former clerk that I went to school with. Her name's Jessica.
So Mr. Malkinson created a very cool opportunity for the Village of Poos to be. It was all his own thing that he sort of worked on to make happen. We've been a guinea pig for this AI tool for the past couple months, and they invited him as a speaker on their panel to talk about how this has been going, and it was really, really cool. And I've been wanting photos of him sitting up there talking about it, but he keeps forgetting to give them to me because I would like to share that.
We'll send you an AI photo.
I know, honestly.
That's right.
You know what? I'm gonna use the clipping from Rob Brown's thing where you're Ed Sheeran if you don't figure it out. But yeah, so it's it was really, really cool. Poos got to be highlighted for being innovative when really the innovative one was Mr. Malkinson. So,
That's extraordinarily kind. I really appreciate that, Your Worship. Some of the other topics that were incorporated there, there's a really neat trade show, and I find that the way that they built that trade show is kind of, it's much more service or ground level oriented. SPCA had representatives there. There were a lot of law firms that had representatives there. It seemed that a lot of the IT or tech firms that were trying to hawk their managed service relationships were much more, there was a huge amount of language about AI. It seems like folks are trying to almost rebrand their IT service configurations to be, no, we're an AI consultancy kind of thing, because of how much interest it seems there is in the field on that. There were some good sessions on service metrics, basically how do you measure municipal performance. There's some good stuff about council orientation, which was also neat. And there were some case law updates that were kind of neat too. One beat that you guys might recall, you all know Milo McDonald in Fort St. John. He was elected to the board of the LGMA as an at-large representative. So, yeah, it was a good conference.
cool.
And projects. There's a lot of other things that I get pulled in different directions on. But the last little while, I've been trying to. The North Star is trying to get projects completed. We're currently trying to get some capital approvals in front of you guys, do some capital plans so that you guys can give the green light, and we can proceed to get those things tendered and finished. Then there's a few other small projects on post office ramp, dugouts at the McNabb Park that we're trying to get done as well. So yeah, it's been that's the biggest, the most exciting thing. So
I'm so sorry I skipped over you. I honestly, because I just saw CAO report, I didn't see anything.
Blank. I wanted to write this down, and I'm like, you should still tell them what you're doing. So I just,
I will never skip over you ever again. I'm so sorry. I'm gonna become so annoying. I'll be like, is there anything? Is there anything?
Between each agenda.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Anything new?
Duncan's opportunity to. I love it. Okay, was that everything, Mr. Melkinson?
yeah, thank you, Your Worship. That's
Okay. Yeah, okay, so up to me. I haven't been here past a little bit. I missed the one on the 10th, but yeah, tree planting. I went and took part in a huge thank you to everybody who showed up. Fantastic job. We totally killed it. I thought it was really funny when Mr. DeVoe, the director of our public works, didn't bring all the trees because he wasn't sure we'd be able to hammer them all out, and then we did all of them. He was being so nice. He filled the truck, but there was only half of them there because I think he thought that we wouldn't be able to get them all in.
He did a second trip.
He did a second trip because we exceeded his expectations, so that was really cute.
He whispered to me halfway through, he says, we're making it.
Yeah, he was so impressed. He was like, oh my gosh, they're actually doing it. So,
Not just standing around.
You
Yeah.
thought we'd show up for one shovel and a picture. And
yeah, pretty much, the big scissors there as well. Yeah, no, so we exceeded his expectations, so I know that he was pretty impressed with all the hard work. And it was fantastic to see everybody working collectively to get it in. The trees look fantastic. They're a little bit crispy. I'm a bit worried about them, but maybe they'll go crispy before they go non-crispy.
I do recall Councillor Marcel saying that we can expect them to kind of look
Die
a little
off.
vaporware as they're
Yeah.
trying to take into the soil, but we
Okay.
have been watering them every day, at
Okay.
least every weekday.
Yeah.
And yeah, we'll continue to keep them on.
Okay.
I did pass that feedback along, I think even last week, and they doubled back to see whether or not they were
Yeah.
watering the appropriate amount. So
I've now become just really hyper aware of how these trees are doing, and I almost need to just ignore them because plants do better when you almost ignore them, because when you overdo them, then they get they die anyway. So
let's hope we don't get to stage 4.
yeah, well, I know we'll be super good then. Yeah,
Eradicate the bugs on them, it's agriculture.
I met with staff last week. Another big thing. We had some of our Coos Coopy Elementary School students that graduated last week, so that was really exciting. Made me feel very old watching them all walk across these skates. So that was very, very exciting. So a huge shout out to our Coos Coopy Elementary students who have now officially finished and are off to their post-secondary, which is really, really exciting. And a big congratulations to all of our grads. Beautiful grad weekend. The weather actually did end up holding out. I was a little bit nervous, especially when that King Park walk happened. I guess it had been looking doomy and gloomy, and then 45 minutes when the walk started, it got nice and bright. So I was really, really happy about that. And again, some of our how many graduates were from Coos Coopy? I think there was eight of them in total. Which I felt very old. I was like, I remember you when you were in kindergarten. Yeah, so that was really, really exciting. And then, just kind of working with staff, figuring things out. We've had a lot going on. The office has been extremely busy, as we all know, and so I've just been on the phone, I think. On the phone a lot to you. Just me and you hanging out. That's it. Esties! But yeah, no, I am getting very, very excited. The meetings I've been having with Mr. Melkinson are really talking about the dugouts, the park next to the village office, the crosswalks on the highway, the accessible ramp for the post office. So lots of exciting things. We're just in the midst of looking at some of those capital projects. There's some cool things coming from Taya, our ACDEV, around traffic calming measures and community improvements, which I'm really, really excited about, which will be coming in the next coming months. And yeah, so just really, really busy.
Did you mention the RCMP meeting, your worship?
Oh yeah, we had an RCMP meeting, yeah.
They spoke about their annual performance plan or their annual performance objectives for the village, which largely consisted of, focusing on traffic enforcement in the village and reducing, I think it was drug-related crime.
Yep. Yeah, and then they also connected us with the detachment in Fort St. John that does traffic.
It's like highway enforcement.
Highway enforcement, and talked to them about doing a blitz in the months of September and October, and then actually like booking in with them to come out. So fantastic meeting. One of our main topics that we had touched on was Northwinds. One of the biggest things is I really want to make sure that RCMP and Northwinds are connected, because in smaller communities, the RCMP are often the most frontline workers when it comes to working with people struggling with the disease of addiction. And when somebody wants help, you have a very short window to get them there. And so I just think it would be so beneficial if our RCMP had a great relationship with our Northwind staff. So we were really trying to talk about a way to facilitate that and really create a really supportive network. So yeah, get that as well. Okay, so question period. Nobody's here unless the snacks count. So moving on to in camera.
Thank you to the chamber for hosting a mixer here.
Oh, we all forgot about the mixer that just happened.
Sorry, I didn't want to. I
No.
apologize.
No.
Yeah, thank you to the Chamber of Commerce for
Totally.
hosting an After 5 mixer here.
And thank you to Pelly for all of the snacks. I was so sad that he couldn't make it, but the food was phenomenal. Everybody was like, "This food is so good." I'm like, "You need to go to Pelly. Their food is phenomenal. You will not be sad. You'll be extremely full."
We had some folks, local business folks, and other area folks come out, and that was lovely to see.
Yeah, no, it was really, really good, and I was very excited. The booze came out, and they were talking about how they've just seen that Pooskilpie has definitely become quite the quaint, cute little community that is definitely growing, and families are moving here, and Poos is kind of on the map, I guess, which was very exciting to hear as well. So, yeah, thank you for remembering that. All right, we're going to move to recess to the closed portion of the meeting. In consideration for matters in relation to 91C and 90. This is 92B, but I think it means 91B, right?
It's 92.
Is it 92B? I've never read that.
Section 90 sub 2 paragraph C.
And then 92B subsection I?
Yeah.
Okay. Can I get a seconder?
Sorry.
Seconded by Councillor Johnston. All those in favor? There you go. We will recess to the close, so you can stop the video whenever you're ready.
Thank you so much.
So my report went for so long, I didn't realize.
You were